you had to be a certain height to be any sort of like runway model or model in general. Like you had to fit a certain prototype, and a lot of that had to do with your height and weight.
Do you ever feel like you struggled with imposter syndrome at all, or not like feeling you belonged because you were new to that environment?
It was more based on how I looked, unfortunately. I was the youngest person actually to compete in that year, and then I was also by far the shortest. People are going to tear you to shreds online, and you're just going to read what they're deciding to tear you to shreds about, and you're going to internalize that and be insecure. So for me, it was my height. Ugh, it's so dumb.
Did you, I guess, learn at the time to kind of set boundaries with social media, or have you kind of learned that now?
When you need to take breaks, take the breaks from social media. It's toxic. There's always something that you're going to be insecure about, and there are always settings that are going to make you feel that imposter syndrome. That's why it's just so important to have a really strong circle who really knows who you are. Lean on that and what they think of you.
Olivia, welcome to the Squeeze.
Thanks.
I'm so excited to chat because I feel like you have so many fun things going on in your life right now with your new Netflix show, being a mom. And I was kind of telling you before, we have like a lot of random mutuals. But I have to tell you, my husband reminded me of this. We were at the same Luke Combs concert.
My husband reminded me of the same thing. He's like,
Stop
don't
it.
forget, you met them at the concert. I was like, well, I didn't meet them, but I think I saw them, right?
Yeah.
We were not introduced. We were in like the opposite ends of the rooms.
Taylor and I literally had this exact same we just had this exact conversation. He was like, don't forget the story. I was like, wait, we didn't meet her though. He was like, no, and then he reminded me because he loves football. He loves your husband. Like he's a big football guy.
Well, and clearly my husband loves Twilight because he was the one that brought it to my attention.
That's so good. But he sees Christian sitting there and he's like, oh my gosh, look who's here. I'm like, go say hi. And Taylor thinks that he just like hates going up to people because I think he has this irrational fear that like he's going to bother someone or that no one's going to know who he is. Like he just like doesn't want to make people feel weird. I'm like, just go say hi, hon. It's fine. And he's like, no. Like, I don't want to bug him. And then like
Everyone knows who he is.
Yeah, that's what I tried telling him. But then a few minutes later, Christian came and tapped him on the shoulder, and he was very excited. So the circle,
they're like kids in the play box.
I know.
Do you want to be friends?
I know, literally. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. So we start each episode off with, I have a jar here. We have a game called Citrus Got Real. It's like little funny icebreaker questions, but I pulled one for you. Okay. And the question is, what item do you always carry in your purse or bag?
Ooh, it's probably something really horrible and vain, like a lip gloss. No, I'm just kidding. This is funny. I did a what's in my bag with like my circle at the game this past weekend, and I had a lip gloss, a mirror, and my rosaries. How funny is that? Like,
oh my gosh.
Traveling with my rosaries. I'm really starting to turn into my mom. But yeah, I know. Truly. But what do we carry in our bags now? I mean, I guess an external charger. I always have some sort of like chapstick, lip gloss, something like that. I don't carry a credit card anymore because we have our phones. And then now I do my rosaries all the time because I'm a mom and I have to pray for a lot.
That's good. I know. I am a sucker for a lippy. What's your like go-to lip gloss right now?
I have to say I'm a sucker for Rhode and also just like a good old fashioned shea butter. Yeah, it's great. They're $8 for 2 sticks on Amazon. It's great.
I love that.
And they work so well.
We love a good deal for something.
Yes, absolutely. It looks like a giant Elmer's glue stick.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There you go. It works.
Gosh, that's so good. Okay, well, I'm excited to dive all things life and mom and work, but let's talk about your new Netflix show. There's a new show, Next Gen Chef. Congrats. Can you tell us about the show?
Thank you. Yes, it is everything I've ever wanted to watch in a cooking show. It's the most talented young chefs in America under the age of 30, and they're competing for the largest culinary prize in history. So $500,000, a huge opportunity for them to truly set their life up for success and change the trajectory of their career.
Wow, that's insane. What made you want to be a part of the show?
I absolutely love cooking shows. I grew up watching them with my mom. I also grew up in the restaurant industry myself, so I'm very familiar with that world and, definitely a dream job for me. I'm so grateful. It's one of those things that have been on my vision board my whole life. I love feel good shows. I love connection with food, and it's all of those things plus like the heat of a competition. You
Oh,
really see a lot of heart, soul, and competitiveness.
I love that. What's like your favorite thing to cook or food to eat?
I love Italian
Okay.
food, but living with my husband, who is basically a carnivore, like unwittingly, I cook a lot of meat. I cook a lot of protein.
Yeah.
I wish that we had more like pasta, carbs, and pizza, but because of
Yeah.
his job, I do find myself doing mostly like a meat and potatoes type of thing, like a beef stew or stuff like that.
Yeah. I was not like a big meat eater at all. Obviously, my husband does not have the same job as your husband and does not need to consume the amount of food that yours probably does. But I think I feel like I've learned that that's like very much like guys just like red meat. Like, I don't know like what it is, but my husband is a steak and potatoes type of person.
No, I know. Gains, man,
They got to get the gains. I wish that's how it worked for us. You've been a mom for, let's see, how many months? You can probably tell me the months better than I can.
10 weeks.
Oh my gosh. Well,
Yeah.
congrats. That is just my best friend just gave birth yesterday. And I'm so excited because she's my first like friend, like childhood friend to like we have friends like in my adult life that I've met that have had babies. So we've been friends since childhood. So
Yeah.
it is like I'm like so elated for her. But has these first 10 weeks been?
That's so exciting. Like you guys were babies and now you're having
I
babies.
know.
I'm sure you're babies when you met. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's adorable. It's been so fun. Every day is so different, and I'm really just trying to really sit in it because I know it goes by so fast. Everybody says these are the days that go by quicker than you could have ever imagined, and she's starting to just become so much easier, sleeping through the night, not waking up every 2 hours. Like I really have the opportunity to be grounded and still in each moment. So I'm really trying to
Yeah.
because I know that every day she's changing. I just know it's going to fly by. It already is.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. How was your like birth experience? Did you have like a birth plan going into it? Were you able to stick with it or?
Well, she was breech from the beginning,
Oh,
and
okay.
she was also a really big baby. She was 9 pounds.
Oh,
So I knew I needed to get a C-section. And part of that was, I mean, you just kind of surrender to it. It really wasn't what I envisioned for myself, and it took a little bit of a grieving period. And I tried to have her flip and everything, but
yeah.
I could not get her to move. She was just a really big baby and just like wedged in there. But I mean, I think it's just it's a traumatic experience no
Yeah.
matter what, because you're delivering a human into the world and it's coming out of like a small hole, whichever one it is.
Yeah.
So it
Oh
was
my gosh.
wild. It was wild and beautiful. And everybody says that like you look back on it and it's the best time of your life. And I will say that's totally true. Like while I was in it, I was really scared and I was thinking like, I never want to do this again. But now she's 10 weeks and I'm already thinking that I mean, I would do it 10 million times over.
Yeah.
And maybe I will.
I know so many people that I know are like, it's just kind of like amnesia. Like you're like, oh,
Yeah, yeah,
it
totally.
wasn't fun, but it's fine. I'll do it again. Like it's so
Yeah, you
sweet.
forget. And I'm sure like right when you're about to do it again, you're like, why did I decide to do this again? And then, you do it and you're really excited about it. So it's the most beautiful thing in the world. It's a wild ride.
Yeah. So a little on my background, I'm an RN and I worked as an RN like during COVID and all that stuff. And my best friend who just gave birth, she's actually a labor and delivery nurse. We did nursing school together. And when we were in nursing school doing our rotations, I did like during my labor and delivery rotation, I watched a vaginal birth and I went home. Taylor and I were just dating at the time, but I went home and I was like, honey, like I have to forget what that looked like before I can have a child. And I ask my best friend all the time, like, how are you, like, just like, she literally births babies for her job and she wanted to birth a baby. I'm like, I need to forget like
Yeah.
everything about that because I always say I want to be from like this end, not the receiving end of it, because that's just a view that is like not fun. But I always talk about that. I feel like I would want to have a C-section just because I feel like I'm like a planner and I have anxiety and I feel like I would want to, like, my friends that have had C-sections, they're like, you go in, you schedule it. One of my girlfriends, she's like, I bring my, like, her warm tone lamp with her for her 2 C-sections. Like, she just like makes it like such an experience. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm so curious to see like how that time like is for me. So I'm like trying to ask all the moms all of the questions right now because that's like the next phase of life for me.
For you.
Yeah.
And honestly, you will find that everybody has a different experience. Some women have VBACs, like they'll have a C-section, then they'll have the vaginal birth,
Yeah.
and they prefer the vaginal birth. I think everybody's birth story is so different, and like you just have to hope that you get the experience that you were supposed to get. I mean,
Yeah.
I just choose to believe that. That's what I had to do because I wanted a vaginal birth because you just hear that it's better for the baby and that
Yeah.
they're going to be able to get all the uh, amniotic fluid squeezed out of their lungs. Like, luckily, that actually was not an issue at all with my C-section, but you just hear all of these things. It's better for them to go through the birth canal. So I had to kind of surrender to it too and just choose to believe that this is what is best for
Yeah.
me and the baby.
Yeah. I know.
So,
I think it's like what I've learned is you can have a plan, but like know that your plan of birth may not go as planned, or it most likely won't, honestly.
I know, I know. Well, I hope for you because you have experience and you know what you want already that you can have what you want.
Yeah. Hopefully. I gotta
I don't know how
just,
that works, but
I know.
can you just do that? I don't know.
I know. I have to convince Thais to give me a C-section. I just saw her not that long ago and she's like, you're still not pregnant? And I was like, no, I'm not pregnant yet. She's like, I want a baby. I'm like, okay, well, you're going to have to take that up with my husband. So,
Oh my
but
gosh. Oh,
I know. I'm the holdup though. I'm the holdup. He's like, he's been ready for a while. And I'm like, no.
well, how old are you? If you don't mind me asking, how old
No,
are you?
I'm 28.
Oh, you have plenty of
I
time. I'm
know.
33.
Yeah. No, I know. I think I told him and I told Thais that by the time I'm 30, I'm going to be off my birth control and we'll just let nature run its course by that
Yeah.
time if I'm not.
You have time.
Yeah. I know. I know. I know. I'm like I am ready though. I did have a pregnancy scare at the beginning of this year and I fully thought I was pregnant, but it ended up just being some like hormonal change with my birth control that I hadn't experienced before. And I woke up the next morning after I knew I wasn't pregnant, after I'd been thinking I was for like 2 weeks. And I woke up and my first thought was I was sad I wasn't pregnant. So I was like, oh, I'm ready. That's cute.
Yes. Okay. I have one of my best friends had this same experience. She didn't know if she wanted to have her fourth baby. And I was like, well, let's just see, like, why don't you just see what God has in store for you?
Yeah.
So she ends up having a similar situation where she thought she was pregnant and then she got her period and she realized that she was really upset. I was like, okay, now you know that you want a fourth baby.
Yeah.
So it's good. I mean, I hate to say it like that,
Yeah.
but because it could have been a little scarier than that. But now you know that you want a baby.
Yeah.
So yay.
Yay, baby. That's
I know that I don't not want a baby.
yeah. No,
No, it's confusing.
exactly. That's so funny. Okay, you guys, I have to tell you about my new favorite clothing that I have been absolutely loving lately, and that is Roback's brand new Vista collection. If you haven't tried Roback before, they're known for super high quality, thoughtfully designed performance wear that actually last. Their pieces always fit so well, they feel incredible, and they move with you throughout your day. And now they've entered the leggings world and they seriously crushed it. The Vista collection is everything that you would want in an everyday set. The leggings are buttery soft, but they still are supportive enough to hold you in without ever feeling you're too tight or restricted. And they stay perfectly in place whether I'm on the go, filming, walking the dogs, or just having one of those slower self-care days that I love so much. They come in 3 staple colors, a classic black because you can never have too much black, a very cool flag blue, and a green that just feels so perfect for fall. And what I love most is that it's a full matching set with a bra top and layering pieces included. So getting dressed is completely effortless and you don't have to think about pairing or styling. It's just one of those outfits that just works and is so easy. If you're looking to simplify your fall wardrobe or just want something new that makes you excited to get dressed in the morning, definitely check it out. You can use code SQUEEZE at rhoback.com for 20% off your first order now through the end of the week. That's RHOBACK.com. There are moments in life when therapy would have made all the difference. After a breakup, during burnout, or when stress and anxiety just start piling up and you don't really know where to start. But so often finding a therapist who actually takes insurance feels almost impossible. Affordable, accessible mental health care shouldn't be out of reach. We use insurance to take care of our physical health, so why shouldn't that include our mental health too? That's where Rula comes in. You guys know how much I love and advocate for therapy, especially therapy that's simple, accessible, and actually doable, and Rula makes that possible. They've created a way to get high quality care that's covered by insurance, not something you have to budget or stress about every month. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, and the average copay is just $15 per session, sometimes even less, depending on your benefits. That means real therapy from licensed professionals at a price that actually makes sense. And what's so great about Rula is how personalized it is. Instead of just pairing you with whoever's available, they take time to understand your goals, preferences, and background. Then they match you with a licensed in-network therapist who truly fits what you're looking for. Because we all know that finding the right therapist can make all the difference in your healing journey. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that's actually covered by insurance. You can visit rula.com/squeeze to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you. That's RULA.com/squeeze. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. When it comes to working out, most of us crave variety. Some days you want to push yourself with a long run. Other days you'd rather slow things down with Pilates or a good stretch. And sometimes you just need something totally new to keep things interesting. It's all about finding a routine that keeps you motivated and moving without feeling repetitive. That's why this is so exciting. Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. This is Peloton's most elevated equipment yet and is designed to make every workout feel more personal. You can move in endless ways, whether you're training solo or joining one of your favorite instructors. It's the ultimate setup for anyone who likes to mix it up. Peloton really built this for breakthroughs. It takes the stress out of planning workouts and gives you the tools to stay motivated, challenged, and confident while you train. You can run, lift, sculpt, and go, and the Tread Plus takes care of the rest. And here's one of the coolest features. Peloton IQ provides real-time strength coaching. It tracks your progress, suggests weights that push you, and new movement tracking cameras even counts your reps and corrects your form in real time. It's like having a personal trainer guiding you through every single move. And the swivel screen, guys, it is a total game changer. You can go from running on the Tread Plus to strength training, Pilates, yoga, stretching, literally everything with one smooth spin. If you've been looking for something to re-energize your fitness routine, you're going to want to check this out. Let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com. How has your postpartum experience been? Have you been struggling with like postpartum depression or hormonal shifts at all?
Thank God, no postpartum depression, but I do have an interesting thing called D-MER, which you don't hear about that often. And I just noticed when I was breastfeeding, I had this intense, horrible, depressing feeling, like a pit in your stomach, like hits you like a brick as soon as she latches and you have a letdown.
Okay.
And so I asked, of course, my best friend ChatGPT, and it's completely, basically when your oxytocin rises for you to have a letdown, it's a temporary crash in your dopamine, like complete completely gone.
Yeah.
And it's very common. And so I, of course, went to TikTok and I found so many other people who have this. And drinking water helps, distracting yourself helps. But I mean, I cannot complain at all. I felt I want to, it's worth it to feed your baby, but it's such an interesting, unbelievable hormonal thing that happens that no one talks about. But
Wow.
it doesn't affect everybody. It's
Yeah.
interesting though.
What was it called?
D-MER.
D-MER. Oh, I'm going to look into that. Yeah, that's interesting.
D-MER.
Okay. D-MER. Good. Good to know. I'd love to know, I think something that I struggle with kind of like being hesitant in being a mom is like, just, I feel like I'm not going to be able, which I know is like totally just my mind being silly, but my holdup has been like, I'm not going to be able to like do things like career. Like, I feel like it's going to like hold me back. Like once I'm a mom, like that's like my thought process, but I've been hearing that that's not the case from most moms. But I'd love to kind of hear like your take on that.
Yeah, I think that for anybody who says, no, you can do it all. I mean, like, I'm just going to be real with you. There's totally a shift. And like, whether or not you want there to be or not, like, you have somebody that's physically dependent on you. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Yeah, it's scary. And honestly, I've leaned on, like, that's why I'm so grateful that I have my husband because,
Yeah.
um, while I'm totally working and I'm doing everything in my power to keep working, and I'm so happy to have the opportunities that I have. Like, let's say they all went away. Would I have the same ability that I had 10, 12, 15, 20 years ago to like light that fire up my butt when like I have somebody who like really needs me, which is my baby? No, like I would choose my baby 10 times over, obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just my honest opinion. It's definitely like a scary time, but I'm also just kind of a worry in that way. Like I'm very ambitious. So I did have a little bit of an identity crisis. I really did. And it's very common. And to
Yeah.
anybody out there who didn't and doesn't and is like a working woman, I commend you. I did not have the mental fortitude. I totally got scared.
Yeah. No, I love that. That's real. I know. I keep telling myself like I can like think about it and like worry about it as much as I want right now. But I think once I like have a baby, it's just my brain's gonna like, I can't view it because I don't have a kid yet. Like I don't have, like, I can't see it, because I'm not a mom yet.
But even hearing you talk, and like, I wish that I had somebody to say this to me also, like, just the fact that you're worrying about it is enough to say that you're going to make it work. Like, you just do.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to work and you want to keep working, you will keep working and you will make it work. It's just kind of, I think you just like are really stuck with, you're in a new phase and it's like a lot of juggling. It's like a new sort of balancing act, but you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. I can do it. We can do it.
What's been like the biggest thing? Because obviously your schedule's busy, your husband's schedule is busy. How have you learned, or how are you striving to kind of make sure you have alone time for yourself to prioritize yourself, and then you guys together as a couple?
That's a good question. Well, we always try to go on a date once a week, and it doesn't always happen. And sometimes the date is literally just rotting in bed watching like the Mob Netflix show we were just watching. Actually, sorry, we were watching Next Gen Chef, obviously on Netflix. We really were though. Yeah, we try to have a date once a week, but his schedule is really different because it's the football season is so crazy, and then he gets a little bit of a break, and then eventually he won't be playing football at all. So it's like a short window of time that we just kind of give each other grace, because I know he's doing everything that he has to do for his career, and he should be.
Yeah. I'd love to know, like, obviously his career has had a lot of like highs and lows. How have you learned to like support him and you with, I haven't been, Taylor and I have been together for about 8 years, but he hasn't really been working much. He's been focusing a lot on his mental health the past few years, and we've been together through highs and lows in that regard, and having to like learn how to support my husband through that has like been a journey, but one of like the coolest things. What have you kind of like learned through that or about marriage and how to support each other?
That's such a good question. I feel like just starting out with asking, how can I help?
Yeah.
I feel like we all need somebody to ask us that every once in a while, and it
Yeah.
means so much when they do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's an opportunity to not only get help, but to also get what's bothering you off your chest, which is so cathartic in itself.
Yeah.
So for him, that looks like so many different things. And honestly, the what I know to be true, one of the biggest ways that I can support him regularly is just letting him do what he needs to do to feel prepared,
Yeah.
which is very time consuming. Like we don't spend a lot of time together, but I mean, we do. I don't want that to be a quote.
Yeah.
We do spend a lot of time together, but he is focused on what he's focused on, and I completely support that because I want him to feel prepared and do what he thinks he's on earth to do.
For sure. No, I love that. And that's been really cool. I mean, I grew up watching football, but I feel like over the past couple of years, we've become close with quite a few like players and their families and really gotten to see like the inner workings of like what it is to be married to, related to a NFL player. And it's just like, obviously we commend the players a lot, but also we have to commend the wives and the families because it is work for you guys too, not being able to see your spouses and having to deal with the schedule and like really like learning how to adjust. It's really commendable.
Thanks. Thank you. And it's also very reciprocal. He does the same for me. So,
Sure.
it's great. It would be one thing if I didn't feel like it was reciprocal, but it absolutely is.
Yeah. I love that. Okay, so you know those movies that make you laugh, cry, and then immediately text your friends, like, we have to see this together? Well, that's exactly how I felt after watching the trailer for Eternity. It's this visually gorgeous, feel-good rom-com about love, second chances, and what happens when life, or maybe the afterlife, throws you one more curveball. It's clever, heartfelt, and the kind of story that instantly pulls you in. And the trailer alone gives you chills. It opens with Elizabeth Olsen's character waking up in this dreamlike afterlife where everything feels familiar yet surreal at the same time. And that's when she sees him, her first husband, the one she lost years ago in a tragic war. You can feel the wave of emotion hit her, and before you even have time to process it, her second husband walks in. Suddenly, she's standing between the two great loves of her life, both there, both real, and both wanting her to choose them. It's such a unique, powerful concept, this idea of what happens when you're confronted with the loves that shaped you most. Who do you belong with when both love stories were so real, when both changed you? This trailer teases this beautifully. It's emotional, a little funny, and filled with that tension that makes you want to know what happens next. It stars Elizabeth Olsen, Miles Teller, and Callum Turner, and the chemistry between them is truly so good. You can feel every little glance, every moment of tension. It's natural, charming, and full of heart. It's one of those love triangles where you genuinely don't know who to root for because you find yourself understanding why she's drawn to both. You just want to see how it all unfolds and who she ends up choosing, if she can even choose. What I love most about Eternity is that it's not just the surface level romance. It's got depth. It's that perfect mix of humor, emotion, and introspection that keeps you smiling 1 minute and quietly reflecting the next. It's warm, it's a little chaotic, it's funny, and it leaves you thinking about the choices we make in life and how sometimes the hardest decisions are the ones between two really good things. And you know, when a movie makes you stop and think about your own life, like what would I do if I were in that position? That's the magic of this. It sneaks up on you with these little moments of real vulnerability, and before you know it, you're emotionally invested. And honestly, it's been a minute since we've had a romantic comedy that feels this big, and the kind you actually want to experience in a theater. There's something about watching a love story play out on the big screen that just hits differently. You hear the crowd laughing, reacting, gasping, and suddenly you're all a part of it together. It's that collective energy that makes seeing a movie like this in theaters truly so special. And visually, it's beautiful. Every scene has this rich cinematic glow. It's soft, emotional, and just easy to get lost in. You can tell every frame was crafted with intention. The colors, the lighting, the way it's shot, it feels immersive and romantic without being over the top. It's the kind of movie that feels warm, nostalgic, and full of heart. the kind that makes you want to stay in that world just a little bit longer. And beyond the love story, there's this deeper layer about timing, fate, and what ifs that shape our lives. It's about looking back at those pivotal moments and realizing how much one choice can change everything. It's also hopeful. It reminds you that love can be messy and complicated and still beautiful all at once. That's what makes Eternity so special, because it's not just a rom-com. It's a story about what really matters, about connection, about finding peace with your past while also embracing what's next. Whether you go for the laughs, the chemistry, or just a good escape from real life for a couple hours, this movie delivers on every level. So if you're planning your Thanksgiving weekend, this is the one to see. Grab your friends, your family, your partner, whoever you love watching a good story with, and make a night out of it. Eternity is in theaters everywhere Thanksgiving, November 26th. Trust me, it's one of those movies that's even better when you see it on the big screen, and I cannot wait to see it. I want to jump to talking about kind of your background in pageantry and now having social media. How have you ever like struggled with comparison, or do you feel like social media kind of brings like that pressure? Because I'm sure, I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm sure there was some form of pressure doing pageantry to look or act a certain way, not putting on a front, but you know, you're competing. So like you're.
No, yeah, it was definitely. So here is the backstory for that. There's definitely putting up a front, because I never did pageants. I only did the pageant that I did when I was 19, which was Miss Rhode Island. And then I won Miss Rhode Island when I was 19. Then I won Miss USA when I was 20. And then I won Miss Universe when I was 20. So I did all of that really within that one amount. I didn't grow up doing pageants. My parents thought it was such a joke, and they were so embarrassed. My dad like left halfway because they're in the Miss Rhode Island pageant because there was like a football game going on. You know, they did not grow up with that at all. So I would say it was 100% playing a part and 100% a part, like a front. I had to learn how to walk in heels. I watched past pageants. I like kind of figured out the whole thing. And I just faked it till I made it.
What made you want to do that first pageant?
So I looked at a lot of, I knew that I wanted to do something in entertainment. And at the time, I didn't know if I would wanted to be a host or if I wanted to go into acting, but I knew that Halle Berry had been the runner-up of Miss USA. I knew that Juliana Rancic did pageants. I knew Maria Menounos did pageants. Yeah. I knew Michelle Pfeiffer did pageants. Like I just knew a lot of these people in the entertainment world started out in pageants. And I was just this 18-year-old in Rhode Island trying to make it, you know, and just get out of there. And that was something that I saw as an opportunity. I really just didn't think that I would win. I just thought it could get me one step closer to being like these people who were really successful in my eyes.
Wow. I didn't realize that. So that must have been a lot, like winning all three of those like back to back. Like, did your life just like completely change?
Yeah, it really did. It really did change overnight. I remember winning Miss USA and then being immediately going to New York. I was at the time it was with NBC, and it was like, you know, it was a big production. I remember we didn't even have Instagram, but I remember waking up with like hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers and looking out my window, and I could see all the lights of New York City, and it was wild. It really was like not a lot of things. You can't say a lot of things change your life overnight. Like that really did.
Yeah, that is wild. Like I can't even.
I was a college student, and then all of a sudden, forget your class. I still have dreams about the classes, nightmares about the classes that I didn't finish.
Oh my gosh. So how long from winning Miss USA did you go on to competing for Miss Universe?
Well, it was all
the same time.
Yeah, it was all the same year. So I was Miss Rhode Island 2012, and then I was Miss USA 2012, and then I was Miss Universe 2012. It was all just like that circuit. That's kind of how it works. Yeah.
That's literally crazy. What did that following year look like for you?
While I was carrying the title, a lot of travel. By the way, this was 11 years ago. A lot has changed, but at that point, it was a job, and you would travel, especially as Miss Universe. I went to over 30 countries, I believe, and I lived on a plane. I truly lived on a plane. I would go and address like with the state officials of this town in India. Like I had no idea what I was doing, but I was somehow just there, showing up, speaking in front of thousands of people
Oh my
along
gosh.
all of these little, tours around the world. Because as I know the pageants have a certain reputation, but in Asia they're really, really they're huge.
Yeah.
So it was truly a different world.
Yeah. Not having like that background in pageants, did you ever feel like you struggled with imposter syndrome at all, or not like feeling like you belonged because you were new to that environment?
There were definitely things that contributed to imposter syndrome, but it was more based on how I looked, unfortunately, just because I was the youngest person actually to compete in that year. And then I was
Yeah.
also by far the shortest, which at that time, I mean, we've come such a long way as far as inclusivity, but at that time, I don't know, I hope people listening can actually actually know what I'm referring to, but you had to be a certain height to
Mm-hmm.
be any sort of like runway model or model in general. Like you had to fit a certain prototype, and a lot of that had to do with your height and weight. So
Yeah.
I'm short in the modeling world. So
Yeah.
that was one of the things. And people are gonna tear you to shreds online, and you're just going to read what they're deciding to tear you to shreds about, and you're going to internalize that and be insecure. So for me, it was my height.
Yeah.
They but I mean, it sounds so silly even looking back on it. It's like, ugh, it's so dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've definitely had imposter syndrome in different, more real ways. But if I'm being honest with you, with pageant, it was the height. So crazy.
Yeah.
It was so
How have you how did you, I guess, learn at the time to kind of set boundaries with social media, or have you kind of learned that now to protect your mental health and mental peace with that?
I feel like I'm trying to think because as far as imposter syndrome and insecurities and all of that, I feel like it's something that follows you regardless of where you are in your career. So
Yeah.
there's always something that you're going to be insecure about, and there are always scenario settings that are going to make you feel that imposter syndrome. I definitely find myself limiting my time on social media because of that. And yeah, I think just thinking of it as a part of you and not all of you. And
Yeah.
just, it's so hard because you listen to what the world thinks of you, and you can internalize that and
Yeah.
it's struggle with it. I mean, who wouldn't? But that's why it's just so important to have a really strong circle who really knows who you are, and lean on that and what
Yeah.
they think of you. And when you need to take breaks, take the breaks from social media. It's toxic. It's definitely very hard to process certain things on there and the way that it makes you feel and the
Yeah.
things that people say.
Yeah. No, it's so true. That's great advice. I recently just wasn't on my phone because the finale of one of the shows that I watched was coming out, and I was watching it at night with my girlfriends, and I was like, I don't want any spoilers, so none of us went on social media that day. And it was like the next day, I was like, oh, I don't feel the need to like go on my phone. Like it just, even that one day of detoxing just felt like so nice. And it reminded me that I don't like need to chronically scroll, and I really should not be.
Yeah, well, that's why things like this are so valuable in what you're doing, because it's such a feel-good place for people to seek comfort and connection without having to fall into something that makes them feel bad.
Yeah. No,
It's very
that's so
feel
true.
good.
Thank you. That's really sweet. Has motherhood changed how you view or use social media at all?
Uh, I've always tried to limit the time that I spend on it because everything that you do is giving you feedback. Is this
Yeah.
making you feel good, or is this making you feel bad? Is this draining you, or is this uplifting you? And based on that, I really try not to scroll a ton. Um, with my daughter, I think it's just like, you've got your 8 hours during the day that you can do what you have to do. And I think it's just turned into survival
Yeah.
tactic. I
Yeah.
don't have time to just aimlessly scroll on my phone. Like I have to prioritize what's most important, which is usually not what's on my For You page.
Yeah. Oh, that's special. You guys know that I am always on the lookout for things that make my wellness feel simple, realistic, and actually doable. And I feel like I finally found something that I am honestly really excited about, and that's Groons. Groons is the convenient, comprehensive formula packed into a snack pack a day. This isn't a multivitamin, a greens gummy, or a prebiotic. It's all those things and then some at a fraction of the price, and bonus, it tastes great. That's what immediately caught my attention because so many supplements feel complicated, messy, or honestly just hard to stick with. Groons makes it easy. It's one little daily pack and you're getting all these amazing benefits in a way that's simple and fun. Now, something about me that some of you may know is that I absolutely hate swallowing pills. I can't do it. I mean, I kind of can, but I just really do not like to do it. So when I learned about Groons, I was like, okay, this is finally a solution for me to make sure I'm getting what my body needs. And I was right because there's no powders, no capsules, just delicious gummies that actually taste good. And you can toss them in your bag and take them on the go, which makes it so easy to stay consistent with a busy schedule. The science behind it really impressed me because Groon's ingredients are backed by over 35,000 research publications, which gives me so much confidence in what I'm taking is actually good and not just something that's trendy. So if you want something that's delicious, convenient, and loaded with real health benefits, this is a good one to try. Visit Groons.co and use code SQUEEZE at checkout for up to 52% off your first order. That's GRUNS.co and use code SQUEEZE for up to 52% off your first order. I chose Function because it is the only health platform that gives me the data most people never see and the insights to start actually doing something about it. Inside Function, you get access to test over 100 biomarkers, everything from hormones to toxins to markers for heart health, inflammation, stress, even longevity, all tracked in one secure, easy-to-read dashboard. It's in your 360 view that helps you better understand what is actually going on inside of your body. What I really love about Function is how proactive it is because most of the time we only go to the doctor when something is already wrong, something feels off. But with Function, you can actually get ahead of that and you're not just reacting to symptoms, you're getting real personalized data to make smarter health decisions before the problems start. For me, especially because I travel a lot during the winter months, staying healthy is such a priority and real preparation doesn't start once you're already sick. It starts inside your body long before that first fever or cough even hits. And that's where Function really shines. It pinpoints exactly where your body might need some backup before illness takes hold. Things like vitamin D, zinc, ferritin, inflammation markers, white blood cell count, even cortisol. All of those play a major role in how strong your immune system really is. You can learn more and join using my link. Function is a near 360 view to see what's happening in your body, and our first 1,000 listeners get a $100 credit towards their membership. You can visit www.functionhealth.com/thesqueeze or use the gift code TheSqueeze100 at sign up to own your health. Finding a bra that's actually comfortable feels nearly impossible. They're usually too tight, too stiff, or somehow dig in and slip up at the same time. That's why the SKIMS Fits Everybody triangle bralette stands out so much. It's everything a bra should be: soft, supportive, and completely effortless. The fabric is this silky, stretchy material that molds perfectly to your shape and moves with you all day long. No wires, no seams, no discomfort. Just that barely there feeling that makes you forget that you're even wearing a bra. It gives a natural lift and shape without any of the usual pressure or restriction, which honestly makes such a difference whether you're lounging, traveling, or out all day. And seriously, I don't know what kind of magic they put into this fabric, but it's like nothing I have ever felt before. It's one of those pieces that proves you don't have to sacrifice comfort for confidence. It really just gives you both. The Fits Everybody triangle bralette really does live up to its name. Shop SKIMS Fits Everybody collection at skims.com. After you place your order, be sure to let them know that we sent you. You can select podcasts in the survey and choose our show from the drop-down menu that follows. Last thing I would love to kind of shed light on is endometriosis and kind of your experience with it. Because obviously we've had Thais, Dr. A, on the show. We've talked about endometriosis a bit. I have quite a few girlfriends that have it. One of my girlfriends actually just had her third surgery earlier this week.
Oh,
So I'd love to kind of hear if you can just kind of explain what endometriosis is and when did you like first realize something was going on?
so every month the woman's endometrial lining sheds. That is your period. The endometrial lining is supposed to line your uterus. Endometriosis is when the endometrial lining that sheds grows outside of the uterus. So it could grow in your bowel, it could grow in your liver, it could grow in your rectum, it could grow in any other part of your body. And it's extremely painful depending on where these lesions, they call them, or endometrial tissue decides to grow. So with these lesions, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until eventually, hopefully, you get answers and you get a surgery. But uh, the average diagnosis time for endometriosis is 10 years, which is something that I've worked really hard to try to bring to light because that's absolutely horrifying. And even me
Whoa.
myself suffered for years and saw dozens of physicians before I was actually taken seriously with my condition. So I knew something was wrong because I had excruciating pain. My endometriosis is primarily in the back of my uterus. So um, a lot of low back pain
Mm.
and to the point where I couldn't get out of bed. I was living in the bath. I was taking prescription level medication and still in pain, just
Wow.
so upset. And it's one thing to live with chronic pain, but it's another thing to live with chronic pain and feel like no one's hearing you because then it's scary.
Yeah.
Like at least you know that there's an answer. That would be a great situation. I didn't even know what was going on because nobody would diagnose me with what I later researched for myself was endometriosis. This was before I met Dr. A, but I'm
Yeah.
so grateful for her because after I finally did enough researching on YouTube, Reddit, Instagram, Facebook, I realized, okay, I think that I have this thing called endometriosis.
Yeah.
And it wasn't in the front of my pelvic area. It was in the back. So because of that, like my symptoms were just a little bit more unique. But now that I talk about it more, I find a lot of people who actually have exactly what I had. So anyway, I went to her and I said, I think I have endometriosis. And lo and behold, she found it like on an ultrasound after I went to so many other people and they did so many ultrasounds. So
Oh my gosh.
Dr. A for president.
I feel like so inspired by her every time I like see her or like hear her talk. Like I just love what she's doing for women and just like really shedding light on our stuff that we have going on that a lot of people don't know about. And I have so many friends that have been, diagnosed with PCOS and like are finally getting a diagnosis after hearing like how to advocate for themselves and pushing for like they knowing something's wrong, but not really being heard. So yeah, we love her. But I'd love to know, before we head into our last little Lemon 7 segment, what piece of advice would you give to someone, to women out there that feels like they're in pain, something is wrong, but they aren't being taken seriously, how they could better advocate for themselves?
As far as endometriosis goes or in general?
Yeah, I mean, or in general, but yeah, with endometriosis or just our female reproductive problems that so many women
Yeah.
struggle with, but don't know how to advocate for themselves or don't feel like they're being heard, similar to kind of what you experienced.
Yeah. Well, that's what that endofound.com has a whole page of resources specifically for endometriosis. There's also Nancy's Nook on Facebook. Like that's kind of where I have told people to go. But for anybody out there who is suffering, just know that you're not alone. And hopefully you can see the better part of social media and find people who have the same condition and what they did to seek help. It's such a cool thing to see the
Mm,
strides we're taking with women's health, specifically endometriosis, seeing the amount of people that even on my own little level
yeah.
are advocating for themselves and going to the right doctors and calling out the bad doctors. It's amazing to see
Yeah.
people getting the help they need and being vulnerable about it, because unfortunately, if you don't advocate for yourself, you're not going to always get the help you need.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you for that. Let's head into our last little segment, shall we? Fun
Yeah.
little segment, Lemon 7. You could rapid fire these. You can share a monologue of your explanation, whatever your heart desires, you can answer. But number 1 is, what movie or song title best describes your mental health today?
Dreams by the Cranberries, because I'm in love with my daughter, obviously. She's new.
Oh, sweet. Number 2 is, how open are you with people in your life when struggling?
Core friends, very, 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 very open. Everybody else, very, 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 very not.
Yeah. Have you always been like that, or is that something you've kind of like had to learn later in life to kind of just like
It's so
keep?
funny. I was literally just talking to my husband about this. No, it's 100% a defense mechanism. When I was growing up, I feel like I wanted to be best friends with everybody, but then, you go through life and bad friendships and bad people and friendships callous you. So I have a really hard time now as an adult opening up to people. And I think we all struggle. I envy people who are just like able to be really vulnerable with a lot of people. I struggle with that, but I'm working on it.
Yeah. I mean, at least you have your core people that you can be honest with, because I feel like that's, as long as you got someone to talk to, I feel like that's the most important thing.
Yes, it's true. True.
Number 3 is, if you could only follow 3 social media accounts, what would they be?
Definitely a parenting account. I don't have a specific one right now. I really like the Moody Foodie who's on Instagram. She makes the most delicious food and she makes it look so easy, and I need to get her cookbook.
Moody
So I really like her. I also really like, who doesn't love like a feel good, uplifting Instagram account like yours, and also everybody else that puts out feel good content. So I think those things. Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you. I'm honored. Number 4 is, what is your favorite form of self-care?
Being in nature.
Ooh. Is there like anywhere, just walking outdoors, or do you like to go and like vacation somewhere outside?
Well, either. Honestly, I'll just take what I can get, but I just noticed that nothing grounds me more than being in nature.
Yeah. Do you think you're more of a beach person or a mountain person?
I think my husband and I also talk about this all the time. We're mountain people. We are. I know.
Okay, number 5 is, what is the most misunderstood thing about you?
I think people don't know how goofy I am. I'm very goofy, and they have this idea of me being, I don't know, uptight or really put together, and it's not totally accurate.
We love goofiness. Number 6 is, who has had the most positive impact on your mental health?
Definitely my husband and family.
Special. And last but not least, number 7 is, if you could go back to one moment in your life, what moment would that be, and what would you say to yourself?
Any moment? Oh my God, this is a lot of pressure. Probably just my younger self going through, well, situations that I didn't necessarily have to put myself through, like tough relationships or toxic situations that I should have not been in. I wish that I had told myself that there is hope. So that but then again, the pain of those moments is what preps you for the rest of your life. So I guess I have to be grateful for those moments too. So
I
don't know.
I think that's a good answer. I think there's still, like, I always say, like, I worked as a COVID nurse, and I was diagnosed with PTSD and depression from working. And I always say I wouldn't change it, but I would go back and be like, hey, like, you're going to get through this. Like, just give myself a little pep talk. So I think that's
nice. I feel like we all need to hear that when we're going through something. There is a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
This is making you better.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. This is making you a better person.
Yeah. I love that. Well, that's a great note to end on. Well, thank you for joining me today, and I'm excited to watch this Netflix show. I love a cooking show, so We will be watching this tonight.
Good. I'm so happy. I hope you like it. And thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you.